Hey guys, welcome to the 7-Figure Box Show. My name is Andrew Frezza, and today's episode I'm going to be answering the question of whether or not you should launch a nutrition program at your gym. It's one of the questions that I've gotten the most over the last few months, and it's taken me a while to answer this question, but I wanted to address it in several different episodes. But I wanted to start with this first episode of giving you guys an aerial view of should you launch a nutrition program. If you already have one in place and it's in those early stages, maybe how can you rethink that nutrition program to structure it a little bit better. And I want to go over our pricing and how we structure our nutrition commitment for our one-on-one coaching. I want to talk about our relationship with Healthy Steps Nutrition. We work with them and they help oversee our program. And I know a lot of gyms out there are either already working with HSN or are looking to work with HSN. So we're going to cover all that in today's episode. So let's dive right in and try to answer this question of whether or not you should launch a nutrition program at your gym. And I think the first thing you want to think about is, where do you stand right now with your core service outside of nutrition? So most of the people that listen to this podcast are primarily running group class-based facilities. Your core service is group classes. You may have personal training. You may even have some kind of nutrition program or nutrition challenges in place. You probably do retail. You probably do some accessory classes as well. But for the most part, your core service is your group class. Now, my belief is that your core service should be getting you most of where you want to go as it relates to your business and what you want to make out of your business, okay? So for some of you guys, you have a member number in place that you want to try to hit. You're like, I want to get to 150 members. I want to get to 250 members. Whatever that member number is, have you already hit that goal, or are you currently working towards that goal? And how far away from that goal are you today? If you are really far away from that goal, if you believe that your facility can easily handle 250 members and you're at 150 today, I don't think you should add a nutrition program today. I think you should focus on closing that gap and getting closer to 250. I think you should focus on perfecting that core service and trying to get your member levels up first, or getting your revenue and profit up first if it means something like raising prices and doing it a different way. But you got to get that core service closer to where it needs to go before you add nutrition. And within that, you have to ask, am I making what I want to make out of this facility? Okay, so maybe your goal is to make $100,000 a year. You want to make 6 figures a year from owning your gym and working at your gym. Well, if right now today you're only making $25,000 a year, I don't believe stretching yourself away from your core service to something like nutrition is going to be the path that gets you closer to that goal. I think it's going to incrementally get you closer to that goal if it does well, but ultimately it's going to take a lot of your time and energy and probably prevent you from spending that time on a place that you could dial up that revenue and that profit margin even more. The other thing to consider is, by focusing on your core service, you actually allow yourself to build up a good book of business that if and when you do launch a nutrition program, you're going to have a huge group of people to choose from that are going to be perfect customers for that program. And by being patient and allowing yourself to improve and grow that core service, you're only setting yourself up to have a more successful nutrition program if and when you decide to launch that. For CrossFit Palm Beach, we actually never had a nutrition program, a one-on-one nutrition program, up until about August of 2018. So we went most of our 7-year history, 6 of those 7 years, without a nutrition coaching program. And I think that not only did that not hurt us, but I think it actually helped us in getting to the member numbers that we wanted to get to. We were able to get to 500 members without having a nutrition coaching program. And then once we decided to add that on, we had plenty of members to choose from that were perfect candidates for that program. Now, I do think there's an argument to be made that nutrition is such an important part of our program that we can't ignore it, right? I'm a firm believer in what CrossFit teaches, that nutrition truly is the foundation of the health and fitness and performance that we're trying to create. And if we ignore it completely, then we're doing people a disservice. But I also look at other gyms out there like F45s and Orange Theories and Soul Cycles, and I look at how they've had to really streamline their service and focus on doing less but doing it better in order to be successful. And I think that we need to look at that, look at what they're doing, also look at what we are doing, and figure out what is the best use of our time right now, okay? And even if you do launch a successful nutrition program in the future, right? For us now, I mean, we've had at most 30 people in our program. For us, that's less than 10% of our membership. Healthy Steps Nutrition, who works with a ton of gyms out there, say even the most successful gyms out there should aspire to get 20% of their membership on one-on-one nutrition coaching. So even if you get to that level where you have a successful nutrition coaching program, there's still going to be 80 to 90% of your membership that is not going to be helped by that one-on-one coaching. So rather than think about having the nutrition program as your only way to help people with nutrition, I think you want to start today with making nutrition a bigger part of the conversation, whether that's through blog posts, podcasts, daily talks and classes, sending out recipes, sending out nutrition content in your email newsletter. I think you want to start making it a part of your conversation today, regardless of whether you have a one-on-one nutrition coaching program or not, okay? And that way you're able to help everyone with nutrition, and that kind of buys you time, and you can be patient to decide when you want to actually fully commit to that nutrition program in the future. The other big thing to consider with this nutrition program is who's going to run the program. Do you have a coach on your staff already? Is it a coach that you're going to have to hire? Who is going to be your person that's going to be able to run these one-on-one nutrition consults? And you really need someone that's going to be fully dedicated to it. In my opinion, my experience, the little bit of experience I have with this, is that you need one or two really good coaches that are fully committed to this, rather than having all of your coaches sharing the load. You know, you also have the cost of training those coaches, so you don't want to spread yourself too thin, both financially and time-wise, where you're having to train and pay for a bunch of coaches to go through that training and then oversee a ton of coaches. I think it works best, especially when you're starting out, to have one really good coach who's fully committed to doing this and has the time to do it, right? Where is the end game for this coach? Is this a coach that can handle 20 clients with a full schedule, 30 clients with a full schedule, 40 clients? I mean, we found that 20 clients is a pretty substantial amount, 30 is a lot of work, and 40 is starting to get into that zone where you could start to feel pretty capped out, and it becomes close to a full-time job to manage 40 one-on-one clients. So start to think about the end game, start to think about who's going to be that coach, and if it's going to be a time suck for you as the owner, then I definitely don't think it's the best use of your time. If you guys do feel like you're ready, if you feel like you're close to making what you want to make, if you feel like you're close to some of those revenue and member number goals on your core service, then let's talk a little bit about how you might want to implement it. And we'll talk about how we implement ours. So we work with Healthy Steps Nutrition, or HSN. It's probably the most popular one in the CrossFit space, and possibly in the micro gym space as well. A lot of people know precision nutrition, a lot of people know working against gravity, but it seems like HSN really has the best foothold in with the CrossFit gyms. And I'm a big fan of HSN. Actually, the number one reason that we started working with HSN was legal reasons. So you have to check with your state. Every state is different, but in Florida, the laws are really, really strict about who can deliver nutrition advice, nutrition guidance, and nutrition coaching. And if you're not a registered dietitian, it's a very clear line that you can't cross in terms of the nutrition coaching. And not everyone's going to get caught for nutrition coaching, but there's people that have gotten, penalized, fined, or threatened to stop doing what they're able to do as a coach because they're trying to give a nutrition advice without that registered dietitian license. So our working with HSN, the primary reason for doing that was to be able to work under a registered dietitian so we could coach individuals legally, essentially. And they also have a great training program. So they have an online training program that you go through, and then it's a monthly commitment that you pay for a subscription. And currently we pay $249 per month to work with HSN. I think their initial training program is somewhere in like the $1,200 to $1,500 range. I could be wrong about that, but it's pretty substantial cost to go through that. And honestly, at this point where we are over a year in, if we could just go off our own and feel good from a legal perspective to coach, we probably would stop working with HSN because of that high cost. But with that said, we do like what they have. They have a lot of really good resources. They provide ongoing resources every month for social media content, email, like marketing, email write-ups, love letters, they call them. They also do monthly coaching calls. I find those to be the most valuable, where you get to talk with either someone from HSN or another gym owner that's implementing HSN that works for them, and talk about ideas, how to run challenges, how to get more people in the program, how to promote your program on social media. So they really do a fantastic job. The cost is high to my liking, but if you have a successful program and you price it well, you can certainly pay for that cost and more. So let's dive deeper into the numbers, because that's where I think a lot of people are just screwing this thing up. Okay, so the way we've structured our program is that, so HSN usually recommends doing like a platinum version and a gold version. And the gold version is meeting one time a month with your clients, and the platinum version is meeting 2 times a month in person with your clients. And for us, we actually have found that none of our people have chosen that platinum version. All of our people have chosen the gold version of just the 1 time a month in-person meeting. And we actually did away with the platinum version recently because of that. But the way we structure ours is we usually do an initial 60 to 90 minute consult with the client. We have the InBody machine. I would highly recommend, if you're going to do a nutrition program, you need an InBody. I think that is a huge aspect of it, because so many of our clients have not lost weight at all or lost minimal weight, but actually lost a significant portion of body fat. So they've lost between 1% and 3% body fat, which is very significant, whereas they've only lost on the scale, either they've stayed the same or lost like maybe a pound on the scale. So it's really important that when you're doing nutrition coaching, especially with people that don't have a ton of weight to lose, they might only have 10, 12, 15 pounds to lose, that you are tracking body fat percentage and you have a tool that, like the InBody, that is more specific and not just doing the scale. Okay, I think it can really honestly make or break a lot of programs out there, and I think you need to factor that in to your initial investment, which the InBody is like a $5,000 to $6,000 investment. Okay, so for us, we structure it where let's say everyone's choosing that gold option. They're going to meet once a month in person after that initial consult, and they're going to commit to 90 days at a time. Okay, and it's a $149 add-on for us to their normal membership. Okay, so it doesn't matter if they're a member of ours, if they already pay the highest unlimited membership that we have. Everybody pays $149 a month for their first 3 months, and it's a 90-day commitment. They can't just commit to 30 or 60 days. They have to commit to the full 90 days. After that, they go into what we call phase 2, and phase 2 goes down to $99 a month. They still meet once a month in person, and then in addition to that, this is for phase 1 as well, everyone gets weekly check-ins with the coach, and that's usually done online through the HSN app, where we'll ask them a series of questions to get an idea of just an overall check-in, like what are some non-scale victories they had this week, what did they do well, what did they struggle with, just some basic stuff like that. I'll go into detail on that kind of stuff in a future podcast, but I just want you guys to see sort of the overview of how we run that program. So I want to break these numbers down in detail even further to show you guys what we pay our coaches, what we pay ourselves out of this, so you can see, because I think what most gyms do is they vastly overestimate how much they can make on something like a nutrition program, and they vastly underestimate how much it's going to cost. And what they do is they undercharge for it, and then it becomes something that adds revenue to the top line, but potentially adds zero profit or potentially even negative to the bottom line. So for us on that $149, again, that's for the first 3 months. The $99 is for every month 4 and beyond, and that is a month-to-month membership. But let's just say that every person that comes with us sticks with us for 6 months on average. So they have 3 months at $149, they have 3 months at $99. On average, they're paying us $125 a month for 6 months. So that person is, we're gonna pay the coach roughly $75 on that amount, and the gym's gonna make $50 on that amount. HSN recommends the 4 nights model, so they would recommend paying your coach less and paying the gym more. But looking at the numbers, we want to set our coaches up for success, and we felt like we had to pay them more in order to make it worth their time. So of that $75 that is going to the coach, think about how many clients is going to be required to hit certain thresholds. So if that coach has 75 clients or $75 a client for 20 clients, that's $1,500 a month extra they're going to be making. At 30 clients, it's $2,250 a month extra. At 40 clients, it's $3,000 a month extra. So if that person can maintain 40 clients for the entire year at an average of $125 per month, that coach is going to make an extra $36,000 a year for having that book of business. Okay, so you have to look at those numbers and start with the end in mind. Okay, you have to look at what is a coach going to have to dedicate this in order to make it successful, and what is the gym going to have to dedicate to this in order to make it successful, and is it going to be worth the coach's time and the gym owner's time. And I think for 40 clients at $75 a client and making an additional $36,000 a year for a coach, I think that's worthwhile. But I think anything less than that, significantly less than that, it's going to be really tough to do, because at 40 clients, it becomes close to a full-time job for that coach. They're going to also be able to handle some coaching hours as well, but they're not going to have a lot of time for personal training or other roles within the business, and you're preventing them from doing a lot of other things by having them take on 40 clients consistently. And I'm giving you specific numbers on this because I want to caution you guys from undercharging for this service. I think a lot of gyms will go to that $75 number because they think, oh, well, this is what someone probably can afford to pay above their membership. Hopefully you're not thinking less than that, but let's just assume you're thinking $75. Well, potentially the coach is going to make, let's say, 45 of that. The gym's going to make 30 on that, okay? Well, that $30 that you take in each month, first of all, that's not all profit, but let's even assume that it is all profit, that $30. You have to actually first think about your costs for something like HSN. We pay $249 a month for HSN. So we would basically need like 9 to 10 clients a month, average every single month, to pay for that $249 base price every single month. And then let's think about something like the InBody that we paid for at $5,000 to $6,000 as a lump sum. We think about the training program with HSN, which is another, let's call it $1,500. We have another $6,500 that we have to cover for, any profit that we have is going towards covering that initial investment. Okay, so it could be years before we're profitable at all to add this service, and that's at 20 extra clients a month. 20 extra clients at $30 a month. It would take us a while to get to a profitable level. And at $75 a month, the situation doesn't look any brighter for that coach either. And you're doing, one of the reasons you're doing this is probably to set them up for success and to give them another way for them to make a career out of coaching and nutrition coaching. But if they're only getting, let's say, $45 out of $75, which is actually a pretty high amount, but it's only $45 per client. So if they have 20 clients a month at $45 a month and they're averaging 20 clients a month, that's $900 a month. If they're able to maintain those for an entire year, that puts them at roughly like $10,000 for the entire year. And that's at 20 clients a month every single month. Let's say they double that to 40 clients, okay? And as we said earlier, 40 clients is starting to get into that range where it's starting to feel like a full-time job. I mean, you're putting in, for sure, 30 plus hours a week to maintain those 40 clients. Now, if you double that $10,000 number, it's only $20,000 a year to run basically a full-time job as a nutrition coach. And I don't think that's sustainable for the coach. I don't think that's sustainable for the business. And it can look, when you actually deal with smaller numbers, it looks better because you're like, oh, it'd be nice to have another $200 in my pocket, $500 in a pocket. But when you actually look at it as a full-time job, you realize that you're certainly undervaluing this service from the gym's perspective and from the coach's perspective. So regardless of whether it's nutrition coaching or personal training or even your group classes, I'm a huge fan of beginning with the end in mind and pricing with the end in mind. Price stuff based on what you can afford to charge for it, not what you think others can afford to pay for it, okay? Think about the end in mind. Think about what a fully booked up service will look like, and if that's even a goal worth chasing for you. And if it is, then you're probably priced right. You probably have the right structure in place, and you can pursue something like that. But otherwise, I would recommend most of you guys continue to focus on your core service. Think of ways to add nutrition coaching for free to your members, to all of your members. And then when the time is right, really attack that nutrition program with the right coach and the right pricing to make sure that it's successful.